Good afternoon today to our next Open-E webinar. Today we are happy to talk about high available iSCSI storage for VMware. But this time we'll use VMware version 5. There are some differences between version 4 and 5. In some cases even big differences, so we want to just overview this. So I have prepared a very simple configuration today, because we will have kind of very complicated demonstration. The complicated demonstration because we will just crash storage on the primary server. So, and afterwards we would like to get everything back working well, but without stopping the services. So the VMware as a storage client will run all the time and we will not want to stop it. Okay, so we have no maintenance window to shut down our virtual machines. Okay, so I will run because there is at least 2 reboots of the primary server required, and it will take some time. So I want to start the configuring at once. So again, if it will be too fast for you, you will be able to get this recorded session and watch it one more time. Okay, so let me switch to another PC. Okay, I have prepared 2 servers, and I will start configuring this right now. And by meantime also I will show the configuration chart. So both servers need to be formatted, so let us format. Okay, I will switch between these 2 servers on the second time, so that's the second server. I format this as well. Okay, so on the primary we are formatting, secondary as well. Okay, so now short switch, I will show now the configuration chart. So that's our storage client, okay, and that's our primary server and the secondary server. I have decided for this webinar to use only 2 ports, because all the previous webinars we were showing 4 ports and multipath, and plenty of servers has only 2 ports on board. And there are sometimes 1 new server, sometimes it's difficult to add more cards, and from time to time people ask how I can configure with 2 ports only. So this is much simpler than more ports, but still we have these questions. And that's the configuration: 2 ports, ETH0 and ETH1. On ETH1 we do synchronization, so the volume replication, not synchronization. The volume replication is on ETH1, and all the rest services are on ETH0. So web access, heartbeat, and of course also storage IP access. So on this one we also have the so-called virtual IP. We will come back to this chart one more time, because here we have also things like ping node, and this time I have no dedicated ping node, but this is configured on the ESXi server, and we will also show how to do it. So now you see both are formatted. Then I will create a very small iSCSI volume on both. Why very small? Because after disaster we will need to resync, so this will take time, and in order to save this time I make just 10 giga volume, because we don't want to wait longer time for resyncing after disaster. Okay, that's only for demo purposes. Of course you can make a bigger size. So first server is already I have forgotten to add volume replication, so let me remove it. And I want to make everything properly, so the both volumes will be already for the volume replication. That will also make the demo shorter, and I will not need one small action which is still required if you just create the volumes without replication, and you will set the replication later on. I will explain it later. So use volume replication and 10 gig. Okay, so that's on the secondary, and on the primary one more time. New iSCSI volume, use volume replication, and 10 gig only. Okay, so both are block IO. Of course, I do not touch it. Okay, so on the secondary server, once the volume is created, we will need to switch the mode, you know, the source destination, right? So I click on the volume replication, and we will set the destination here. Okay, because after creating it is always source, so we set destination. Great. And also we set the mirror IP. This will be on at ETH1, so 192.168.1, and we are on the secondary server, so the first is 230, so that's my IP of primary server here, because now I'm on secondary server. Okay, great. And then we do the same on the primary. Okay, source is okay, and now 192.168.1 and 240 this time. That's IP for the replication port on the secondary server. Now we need to set the task. Okay, task just M for mirror, and then I have one single task. Then I can set this parameter a bit higher, so I will set 100 because I have 1 gigabit. And that's only single task. If I will have two tasks, I will need to send 50-50. If I will have a 5 task, I will need to send 20 for everyone, right? Okay, so now the task is created, and thanks I have one task, I will be, after disaster, I will be able to sync with 100 megabit per second, okay? So now we start the task, and the next step, we need to export these with iSCSI target. Both must be, of course, the same name, exactly the same name. So in order to do it fast, I just need to edit this. I don't want to use a default, so I remove this checkbox, and then I can remove everything what is after DSS, okay? And the same thing on the secondary. Okay, that's exactly the same clicks we need here. So we remove, and then we remove everything what is after DSS and apply. Okay, now we have created the both targets. We need to edit, and we need to click on the plus button in order to join the logical unit and the target, but I will copy first the SCSI ID, and I will paste this on the secondary, because both must have also identical SCSI ID, okay? Identical LUN as well, okay? So logical unit is 0, and on the secondary we will remove the default SCSI ID, which is different for the every volume. Okay, so I will remove it and just paste it. This is what I have in the cache. Okay, so now I paste it and plus. So both has the same SCSI ID. That was the second step. First step was creating volume and starting replication task. Second was creating identical iSCSI target. And the last step is we need to go to network failover and set ports and enable failover service. So I was configuring this already. So on ETH0, accordingly to our chart, we have the virtual IP. So virtual IP is 192.168. I use subnet 10. Okay, and also we use here auxiliary port. So on the 240, so when we are on the secondary server, we'll use, of course, 230, right? And ETH1, please don't be confused. I have 4 ports, but I'm using 2 only. The ETH2 and 3 are not used at all. So here is also the auxiliary connection. So on the 192.168.1 and 230 because I'm on the secondary server. Okay, great. So that's the port settings. Now we had to enable the failover, right? And we select unicast and ETH0 for the cluster service. And on the secondary server, I'm selecting this secondary node, right? And for the secondary node, I need to enter the primary node. So the primary is 192.168.0.230. Okay, that's it on the secondary server. And on the primary server, the settings for the ports, please don't forget, you need to enter virtual IP on that ETH0 as on our chart. So you see the virtual IP is exactly identical as on the secondary server. And you see that's the settings. Now I'm using 240 because that's the IP of the secondary server. And the same on ETH1. This server has also 4 ports, but I'm using 2 only. Okay, that's 4 ports on the main board, so I could not remove it. Okay, so here 240 accordingly, right? So now the next step, we need to set the iSCSI-Failover configuration. So of course we select unicast, and then we select the first port for the cluster communication. Then here we have radio button for the primary node. And of course, we need to enter the IP address of the secondary node. Ping node. Ping node, I will, during the reboots, I will explain and talk about ping node LE2. Here, the ping node needs to be in the subnet of the physical storage port. And the physical storage port ETH0 is in subnet 192.168.0. This is why ping node, when I put 07, that's exactly IP address of the ESX server in this case. That's proper settings. Okay, so I leave it. Service is iSCSI, and the replication task which I just created, I will just need to join to the services to be switched during the failover. Okay, we have one single task only, and now we are ready to click on the start button, right? So it will take few minutes to configure this, and now I will maybe start start pinging the virtual IP. So we will see that the virtual IP is still unreachable because the service is not started yet, right? But as soon as the service is started, it will take maybe few seconds delay, then our virtual IP will start to answer. Okay, so all this information, I made it quite fast because, as I mentioned, we will have 2 reboots and it will take some time. So after I run to get it configured first, and then I will also talk about the configuration, and I will also answer the questions. So please have a look. Now the virtual IP is answering, right? Because the service is started. Okay. what we need in order to get our job done, we will need to save the settings. Okay, so I will need to, and also please always remember to download the logs from the both server. Logs, you go to status and the hardware, and under status hardware you just click on the download button, right? Okay, so it will take maybe 2 minutes, and then you have logs. In logs you have all information about the system. Okay, so but what we need more? We need the settings. So please go to maintenance miscellaneous, and settings will help us to recreate after disaster without any problem. So now we want to save the setup configuration, not only save locally, because the locally it's saved on the system volume and this will be crashed. So I need to download to my PC or some other storages and put in the safe place. So I apply, then it will generate the logs, and it is going to save under settings.cnf. Okay, so I click OK, and then I will open the folder. I will delete some files which I was using before, and these settings which I just created I will rename. Okay, so that's my primary and demo, right? Good. Then we do the same thing on the secondary, just in case maybe we will crash secondary, and if we want to get the secondary to be joined to the cluster, we need the second settings from both. I will crash the primary server, so we will use the primary only, but just for demonstration, not forget about it. Okay, so now let us rename this as well. Okay. Okay. Now the settings are saved. As I mentioned, we need to go to hardware and download the logs. This is just a click on the button and save the file. So I will not do it because it's because of the I don't want to waste time. Okay, so now we have everything what we need. So now we can connect our storage client already, right? So let us switch to VMware, and I will not explain now a lot. I will just click what I need to in order to configure. So in storage adapters, on the very beginning, you have no iSCSI, so you need to add iSCSI software adapter. And in network configuration, you will need to select the VM kernel. The VM kernel, of course, need to be created first. So I have the VM kernel here, and this VM kernel needs to be in the subnet where is my virtual IP. So 192.168.10, and I just put 7, and my virtual IP is 10.250. Okay, so I go to storage adapters and properties. We have the one network and the VM kernel selected, and we are not recommending dynamic discovery. We are recommending static discovery. I will remove from the last settings and just add one more time. Okay. Good. So we add static discovery. So click Add button, 192.168 subnet 10 and 250. Okay. And we need to enter iSCSI target name. So we just go to DSS, click on alias, and then in rename function down we have available target. Okay, I just Control C. Okay, now we can paste it. Great, so close, rescan, and now our fresh created volume is already available. Now we can go to storage and format this. So add storage, disk. We need to select this, okay. We can use VMFS version 5. It works well. And the news is you can use more than 2 TB for such a LUN. In the older version, it was up to 2 TB only. So, okay, now it will be formatted. We just give the name, okay, for our volume, for our data store. And we see down in the log tab that it is in the progress. So it is formatting VM file system on our logical unit, right? Okay, once the unit is created, we are ready to use it. I can browse it already, and I can also get some small data. Let's say I have here in DVD. Okay, I can copy ISO file and I can paste it here. Okay, so now we are ready to start our crash demonstration. So what I'm going to crash? Sorry, let us go to setup failover. Okay, we have primary active and running, and on the secondary server we have secondary passive, right? So we can clean error messages here that we will have the it's not many, but we can just clean. Okay, we'll have the empty window before we start demonstration, so we know what's up. Okay, so now we see all the virtual IP is running. Maybe it will be good demo to run the failover and failback manually, but we can do it also later after this after crash demonstration. Okay, so now our cluster is up and running. Our services is ready to work. So what I'm going to crash, I'm going to remove the drive, the SATA cable drive from my drive, which is on the primary server. And then we will have, of course, IO error, and then we expect the failover, right? So I will maybe see. Okay, everything is okay. Good, so we are ready. I will make some I/O. Doesn't matter if there is no I/O or there is some I/O action. I will make some I/O. I will paste this ISO file and copy from my local store to the iSCSI store. And during this, we'll just simulate our crash. Okay, so I now go to my server and I will just remove the cable. Okay. Okay, so the cable is removed. I see already first problem on my primary server, that is diskless. And the next thing is coming. There is a new event. Okay, let us see what happened. Okay, so we have something like journal commit IO error, and the MD0, so the multi-device 0, that's not right, just JBOD in this case, is disappeared on host 230. So we have big problem. We have no more storage on our primary server. What happened with the secondary server then? Okay, on the secondary server, we see that the service is running in degraded mode because we have only one node acting and the secondary is active. Okay, so now in order to save time, I will just switch off the primary and I will start with a fresh new hard disk. Okay. Okay, so I'm back already, and the primary server I just restarted with the fresh empty hard disk. So we will need to format this again. So now I'm simulating the crash of my RAID array, and then I'm formatting and having new from scratch RAID array. Okay, by meantime I see already a question coming. So let me read the question. Okay, the question, demo very quick. Will there also be a white paper and instructions? Okay, I mentioned already, this will be this is recorded and it will be available on our FTP server, so you can just send email to the person you've got invitation and you will get the link. Anyway, we also will prepare the step-by-step for this. Next question. Can you also give details of Open-E storage appliance used? Yes, I will give some details. In our case, the details are, very simple because both servers are, entry level and even very entry level because both servers are just based on the Intel Atom CPU. So they are both very slow. All use 1 gigabit Ethernet ports, and on the secondary server I'm using, I have software RAID. There is 4 drives and they are connected in the software RAID together. This is only for demos, so this is why doesn't really matter what kind of RAID is here. It's just RAID 0 with 4 drives. And on the primary server, I just after reboot I will show you. On the primary server we have just one single SATA drive. In this case, this is even SSD. And after the crash demo, I will select, I will just enter next drive. But this works exactly the same if you run, let's say, software RAID. I was running this with software RAID 5 in my lab a few times. Also, it was checked with the hardware RAID. Also, it was checked, let's say, migrating from software RAID to hardware RAID. All options are possible. In my case, I do with the single drive because with this I have the fastest demo. Yeah, because we don't want to waste time. Okay, I will try the ping to the 230. Oh, the 230 is replying already, so I can expect that. Yes, the 230 is up and running. Of course, if you are using a real production iSCSI cluster, the best will be both servers identical, right? And also both servers using hardware RAID. Okay, so now I will show you what happened on the primary server. First, it is prompting us that I was not properly shut down because I just switch off the server to save the time. It was no storage anymore because the storage was I just removed the cable. So we have this message. And what's up in volume group? Okay, volume group, we see I have an empty unit. Okay, no more there. So now what I'm going to do, because my boot media, media is a separate SATA DOM, I have the saved logical volume and volume group information there, so I can restore exactly the same state as before the crash. Because when we create a logical volume, then we save this information in the boot media. If the boot media is missing as well, this information is in logs. This is why I was asking you also to download the logs. In such case, you will need the support advice how to do it. But if you have a separate media and the media is available, as we have right now, so I will just go to the console. I will start, of course, the PuTTY because I want you to see it. Okay, so I'm starting the primary server, and then I go to the extended setup, so Ctrl-Alt-X. My password is admin, okay, and then I go to restore logical volume group information. So I have now everything empty, but when I select this, I need to find the last one. Okay, so here I have something which was at 1606 because I was deleting. Then I remember I was creating new one and new volume group, and then I was creating, and the 1608 or almost 09 I was finally creating the logical volume for the replication. So that's all. In this case, the last one is you need to recover. Okay, so I'm selling this one. Okay, and just confirm. Do you want? Yes, we want to restore. So what it will make? It will just create the same logical volume and volume group structure as before, and the logical volume will and the metadata for the replication and our system volume will be recreated. So after reboot, we will be able to restore our settings, and restoring the settings, we will have the replication task as before the crash. So when we have this, then we'll be able to sync the data back from the secondary and run the failover. Sorry, the failback. So now we see that restoring was successful. So we just need to confirm, and one more time confirm to reboot this server. Okay, so now we need to wait till the primary server will reboot, and that's not the last reboot, because after this reboot we will need to restore the settings which we saved before, and then after reboot we will be ready to continue the demonstration. So using this time, when the server is rebooting, I will read the questions and try to answer. Okay, next question is there a maximum limit of the size of the volume before the replication check box become available? Currently, our replication algorithm does not have 16 terabyte limit as we have in the product, because our quality assurance was testing and releasing 16 terabyte. This is why in the product we still have the limitation for 16 terabyte per single volume. But you can have more volumes. You can have 2 or 3 or even 5 or even more volumes pairs which are replicated. If we plan to test as a next step to test. It was tested, but not in our QA. It was tested externally. 64 terabyte, and we are planning to release next limit that will be 64 terabyte. If you need it faster, then we have a procedure which you can test before the production, and we can give you a small update which will remove the limitation of the 16 terabyte. Next question. I have a volume that is about 22 terabyte. Anything can do to replicate it to the second sun. This is exactly what I mentioned. You can make, let's say, 2 volumes, 11 terabyte each, and then you will have 2 tasks and 2 replications. Or if you don't want to do it, and then you can get from us the small update which is removing this limitation. In this case, you will need some extra test, and then it will work as well, right? But of course, the official way will be this what our QA stamped will be to create 2 volumes. Okay, because in the product we have 16 terabyte limit. Next question. Are you already able to read out the smart events of a hardware RAID controller? I'm still not able to do that. That should be nice. Okay. The smart needs to be provided by the RAID, because we don't have access to the drives which is managed by RAID. So this needs to be done together with the RAID controller manufacturer. We provide some tools, or the web tools, depends which controller. Normally the RAID controller manufacturer needs to provide the web management or Java based management which is able to read this. We can read smart only from the direct mainboard attached drives. It means you will make software RAID afterwards. Next question is a bit long. I will read it now. I note that you needed both servers available to create the failover configuration. I have just bought a new server for DSS, and my intention is to configure that first with the DSS V6, then rebuild my existing DSS with new drives and configure that so to get failover. Is it possible to configure my new in preparation with failover configuration and start using that immediately, then join the rebuild DSS in later? Unfortunately, you cannot start the cluster with degraded mode, so we don't have this function yet. So today you just need both servers to start the cluster. There are some workarounds. You can on your storage client you can use both the physical IP and the virtual IP. So before virtual IP is coming, you can first select using the physical IP card, right? Because physical IP is not blocked. It still works. You see, I'm pinging here 230, which is the physical IP, and I have also iSCSI access over there. So that will be the workaround for you, right? Next question. If you recover the wrong logical volume, how many copies are retained? Is there a limit of, or they are overwritten once you reach a limit? As you have seen, we keep last 3 changes on the logical volume group configuration. So when you create or delete logical volumes, so the last 3 copies are saved. But please know that if you will, let's say, delete the volume, and now you see the problem and you need to restore the logical volume information, that's great. But when you delete the volume and then create new one and write some data, then it's already too late. So this is a very good solution to restore something what was deleted by mistake. And even I made such a mistake in the past. I deleted, instead of my demo server, I deleted my production server, and I was able to restore everything without any problem. But I will stop now for the while and check whether my for sure my server is already there. And before answering next questions, I will restore the settings and I will answer next questions. Okay. Great. So what is changed now? You see, when I go to volume group right now, then I see something new. I see that the volume group is already there. When I go to volume replication, then I see that my volume is in source mode, exactly as it was when I was saving the settings. But you see there is no task. There is no, when I was creating the volume group, right? There is no task yet because there is just a logical volume there. So what I need now, I need to restore the settings, right? So let us go to miscellaneous. And now we need to browse. I need to find my primary demo server. Okay, upload. Our settings are always divided for two sections, setup and the configuration. I will restore everything. So after checking these two boxes, I just need to confirm on this checkbox. And I've got prompt that the server will be rebooted. So I agree to this. Okay. And now I'm rebooting the primary server. So you will see that when I ping to this, I will lose the ping soon, and after reboot, of course, the ping will come back, and then we will show our goal means we will show resync, so syncing back to the primary, and thanks God it will be fast because I just created 10 giga only volume, and then we will be able to do the failback, right? By meantime, okay, I was using our client, of course, here, and then I will just delete it, and then I will copy this one more time to create. No, actually, I will do it later because now we will have a volume new from scratch, so we'll have 10 giga difference, so it doesn't matter right now. Okay, good. So waiting for the server, we will answer the next question. So you see I lost the ping already, and now the server is rebooting. Okay. And now there is a next question. Okay, the next question is it possible to enter a license key once a machine is in production without reboot? Oh, that's a good question. We will work on it, that you can change from trial to production key without reboot, but so far, unfortunately, if you switch from from the trial to production, reboot is required. Sorry about it, but it's I cannot change it right now. It will need some development time. Okay, so next thing. But there is a workaround. You can buy the key earlier and then start production with the production key and not with trial. Okay, that's also the solution. Okay, next question. Can I add volumes while the cluster is in use without having to disable the virtual IP? For this question, there is two answers, yes and no. And no, in the official product we don't have this function, but yes, it is possible we will have a small update because this function is really missing. So there is a fully functional small update, and you will have the iSCSI-Failover service. And when you post the small update, let's say on secondary reboot, then click Start button, then you have a fully functional cluster, then you post the update on the primary reboot, then resync and failback. And now both servers, without stopping your services, has this small update, and now you can create one new iSCSI mirrored volume, and the option to add it to that cluster, it is enabled now. You just add it, and then when you will do failover failback, all the previous volumes and the new volumes will be also switched properly. This was used by many customers already. So when you need to add a new volume to your cluster, just create a ticket and ask our support to provide you this small update with the short how-to. So thank you for this question. Okay. I will tell you one more thing. It is even possible to expand existing volume. So when you will add some units and then you have a new size, and there is option to expand the volume, the small update is not available yet. We can do it over remote support, even in the data center when there is no regular remote support possible. We have a special tool to do it, and it is planned to add this to the one of the next releases, both functions, the small update which I mentioned and then extending the volumes. It is planned to add to the product. Okay, next question. Yes, understood. Thanks. Obviously would need to rejoin iSCSI targets after creating failover replications. Okay, good. Next question, but before I start next question, let me check whether the server is back already. Great. So now our server is back. So now we will be able to, I will show the volume replication, and you will see that replication task and the settings is already present, right? Because we have restored the settings. It is still strange, you see, we have a source here. So for sure, it will not work when I click resync, because I cannot resync to source. So I need to switch the primary, the primary which is inactive now, to the destination, right? But let us see whether it will work. I can tell you it will not work. We will still need to clear metadata on this primary server. But let us start to see the problem. Okay, so failover. So we think we are ready to failback. So in order to failback, we want sync first. I'm syncing. Okay, sync button. But let us go to the status, and surprise, we will see error. I want to show you this error, that you will be not surprised when you see such an error. Okay, so we see that the selected destination volume already contains replication data, because after recreating the logical volume, we are also recreating the metadata for the replication, and in such case the replication algorithm is afraid to overwriting some maybe sensitive or important data, and that's the error coming. You need to force to do it. So forcing to do it, you just clear metadata. And now the metadata, so the information about replication is resetted, and it looks like nothing is there. So, and the replication task will start now without any problem. So we can go to the failover. So now we are ready to sync. I can go to the replication task here, status, or I can go also to the status and tasks. But we have another status here in the same menu tab. So we'll see that the replication task is just starting. And we see that the data difference because we were having the volume which is new from scratch. So the total size to replicate was exactly 10 gigabyte, and that's what is remain for replication, and that's the average speed, and that's the time to replicate. So this is obvious because on the primary we have a new storage, new from scratch. This is why we need to recreate. If you will have the, let's say, few terabytes, then of course you will need to wait until the replication is done, and then you can finally run the failback, right? So that's the reason why I make only 10 giga, because I don't want you to wait so long time until we'll be able to show the failover and go to the next demonstration. So we have 1 minute more, then I will read the next question. Okay. Is it possible to build 2 virtual machines to practice and document the procedure for your environment for testing purposes only? Has this been done on a virtual environment? Yes, of course. You can have this even on your notebook. If your notebook has, let's say, 4 GB RAM and a good CPU, then you can install, let's say, VirtualBox or a VMware server on your notebook, and you can run 2 DSS on this, and you can add for every DSS at least 2 Ethernet ports. You can add some storage, and of course it works. When you will want to run DSS in virtual environment like VMware ESXi, you will maybe need a faster Ethernet driver. We have a small update which is providing such a VMware driver. So please ask us to send you this driver so you will have the virtual machine running fast. We have also already prepared how to install DSS and how to use DSS as a virtual appliance only. So if you are interested, please drop me an email or email to Mrs. Oda-Kushel that you need this, and we will provide this information to you. Soon it will be already on our website. This is still not posted to our website. The document is in preparation, almost ready to be posted, right? Next question. Is the configuration for NFS failover similar? I want to keep the VM on NFS to allow vMotion, dual mounts to the same fiber FS, and etc. Yes, there is very little difference between configuring iSCSI and NFS. Please check one of our older webinars, or there is a very good idea. Go to our Open-E.com website, and in support library there is a How to Resources tab, and when you go there, then you will find the Open-E iSCSI and NFS failover, and you have all the step-by-steps listed here. So they are very detailed step-by-step listed here. So please just download the presentation and you have step-by-step. Most of them are configured with multipath. The difference between single path and multipath is that in our case we have one virtual IP, so on the one port we run virtual IP, and in multipath you will run on at least 2 ports virtual IP. Okay, so that's the answer for this question. So now, before I answer next questions, now we see that the replication is consistent already, so we are ready for failback. But before I failback, maybe we will just make some traffic. So I go to the iSCSI volume. Okay, maybe I will delete this file, because my volume is quite small, and I will maybe copy another file. Okay, maybe 3 giga file. Okay, copy and paste. So now we copy another file. Okay, so during copying I will start failback. Okay, so that's our virtual IP, and that's our copying job. And now we show that the failback process is in progress. Okay, so now what in the summary what we are doing now, we have made the primary storage crash, and after storage crash we have after reboot and then getting everything new from scratch, we have restored the logical volume information, and after reboot we have restored the settings. After restoring the settings, we were syncing both volumes. When the volumes are in sync, now then we finally came to failback. So you see that our volume is passive, our secondary is passive already. We have seen some problem on the ping, but the VMware has no problem, and the copy didn't notice the failback. Okay, so now we are passive on the primary, and we are back active on the passive on the secondary, and we are back active on the primary. Sorry about it. Okay. Good. As I promised that I will show you also the information how to set up a ping on the ESX. In our case, we didn't do it because we were just using management console, but in case when you are using more ports or different subnet, then it is good idea to know how to do it. It is very simple, and I want to show it. But before we show it, I want to run one more demonstration, and I want to switch off the power of the primary server, okay, because this belongs to our demonstration today. So the physical IP is 0230, right? Everything is running. We are primary active. Okay, so that's the virtual IP, and that's the physical IP of the primary. Okay, so I go and switch off the power of the primary server right now. Okay, done. So we see that the ping to the physical IP is stopped, and okay, and that's the virtual IP. Okay, by meantime the copy is already finished. Okay, when we go to the, I can just refresh, everything works perfect. Okay, that's our virtual IP and that's our physical IP. Of course, when I switch off, the primary will already never answer, and this need to be refreshed. And of course, I have an error, and because the server is just off. Okay, the secondary took services, yeah, and the secondary is now active. I can now, let's say, switch on the primary. If you will have some time for the one more demonstration, that I will be ready to do it. So please let me power on. Okay, actually the demonstration which I was going to show is okay today, but I was promising you also to show how to make the a ping node. So in order to make ping node, you can just add one more VM kernel, and you can add the VM kernel on the existing NIC. In our case, we are just using a management network, so the 192.168.0.7, and we are pinging to our client, storage client. But I can say add networking, and when I add VM kernel, I can select next available port, and here I can just say, okay, ping node demo. Okay, here I can just put any IP which I need, so 192.168. Let's say I will put in subnet 0, but I can put in different subnet. But in my case, that I need something in subnet 0, let's say 77.255.255.255. And that's it. I have already a new VM kernel, and please believe me, the 077 will be answering for the ping already. So I can demonstrate this. So I go to ping 192.168.0.77. Okay, I do it one more time. So we see that's great ping node, and it is located on my storage client. And when I remove it, then of course I'm losing my great ping node. Okay, that's a very easy way to create a ping node, because in some cases people are using just a switch, but switch is not very stable for ping node. This is why we do recommend to just create a new VM kernel, and then we have a ping node ready. Okay, so now hopefully the primary server will be in 1 minute. By meantime, I have some pending answers. The next question is, I am having a hard time understanding him. What did he say about the VMware driver? Okay, so in the as a VMware virtual machine, this virtual machine is using a special driver for the Ethernet ports, and you need the proper driver in order to get the machine working fast. So the default driver is not really good performance. This is why in most cases VMware provide, or some other virtual environment providers provided so-called tools, right? So there are many different things, also drivers, to get the virtual machine working well in such environment. That's the driver which I was talking about. Okay, so The machine is still starting. The ping is already there, so in few seconds I will have already the machine up and running. I can already go to the secondary server and try to sync. Okay, so we go to failover menu. And first step, we try to sync. Okay, we'll see whether the sync is working already. Okay, the task is starting. That's the case. Okay, and the task is running already. So now we check the consistency. It was consistent because by meantime I didn't copy new data. Okay, so now let us check the primary machine. It is already possible to log on. And the primary machine, of course, it is in a so-called suspend mode, because after new start we always introduce suspend mode. Okay, we've got also message that it was no proper power failure. We've got power failure because I was just switching off the power. Okay, so now failover. Okay, then we see suspend. That's right. Okay, now the last step, when we see such a situation, we can just go to Failback. Again, we can show the virtual IP, and during Failback we can also make some traffic here. So let's say I remove this one and I copy something else. So in this case, the primary is already active, and the task is starting, right? Okay, task is running already. Okay, so that's my. I'm ready with my demonstration. Let I see whether there are some more questions. Do you always need manual sync? Yes, we decided to let's say Failback with two steps. One is a sync, because maybe we are not really sure what's going on, because after some crashes, maybe there are some problems. We need to sync first, make sure that the volumes are in syncing, and maybe a Failback administrator wants to decide to run at a special time. He maybe do not want to run Failback under heavy duty traffic because of some different problems in the network. So this is why we have decided to do it in two steps. There is no one button, there are always two buttons here. Okay, next question. What changes are there between ESXi 4 and 5 as far as recommended connection settings or other things as far as Open-E is concerned? So actually, in both cases, ESXi 4 or 5, we recommend always static recovery. So when I go to storage adapters and then proprietary, okay, Okay, here, when I go here, we always recommend static recovery and not dynamic recovery. In the version 5, you can select which kernel, so VM kernel. So here, the multipath will work a bit different, and unfortunately, the tuning which was made, and we have some presentations which were made for version 4, will not work in version 5 because a command line interface was changed. We will make some exercises, and soon, once ready, we will make some presentations about the possible tuning with the ESXi. We need to learn, and we need to get experience with the version 5 for the tuning. Then we will be able to pre-present it. Also, there is a small change in the multipath functionality. So the round robin will be so far not recommended. Will be just active backup in the first stage recommended. And one more big thing is when you create the storage, you can create the storage which is bigger than 2 terabytes. That's a good news because you have more flexibility. But so far, the version 5 is still like, a pilot version because we don't have the certification done yet. We've got feedback from the plenty customers running with version 5 already. And so far, we did not register any major problems. Actually, we didn't register problems at all. The problems we registered were only with activation of the virtual machines running in the VMware, but it was fixed already 2 versions before. So far, everything works well, and we are preparing the certification test.